On Your Side continues now. Good evening and thanks for staying with us. Walking around neighborhoods in Charlotte, it's easy to spot the Queen City. Incredibly dog friendly, right? Our four-legged friends are welcome in many public spots where they intermingle with one another. But that luxury so many of us enjoy can lead to your pet being put at risk to contracting a virus quickly spreading across Charlotte. It's canine infectious respiratory disease, or more commonly known as kennel cough. An outbreak has been declared here in the area. Very contagious to dogs. It's spread through respiratory droplets. Symptoms usually appear 2 to 8 days after exposure. Dogs being in contact with other sick dogs in places like kennels, groomers, even dog parks are at an increased risk of infection.
We have 3 dogs, and we live in a community with a lot of other dogs, so it's a huge concern for us.
She didn't feel great, kept us up a couple nights, so kept me up a couple nights. My roommate also had to deal with it. Just inconvenient to not be able to board her, but just glad she's doing okay.
Yeah, we're glad she's doing okay. Now, here are some crucial symptoms to look for if you feel your dog is getting sick. Things like coughing, sneezing, lethargy. Also, you want to look for no appetite.
But this is way worse than we've ever seen. Like, we've been in business now for about 14 years, and usually like once, maybe twice a year or so, something will come through the population. You know, we'll have a handful of dogs owners call us back and say so-and-so's got a cough, but this is like nothing we've ever seen.
Local dog daycares and boarding facilities have been forced to temporarily close because of the influx of animals getting sick. So now places in Charlotte responsible for helping lost dogs find forever homes are faced with another challenge. That's especially the case for CMPD Animal Care and Control. Earlier this month, the shelter sounded an urgent alarm.
We have 40 dogs that we do not have space for, and we're doing everything we can.
The shelter's capacity reached a critical level. If dogs weren't adopted by the day's end, they would be put at risk of being put down. Well, that pressure has slowed a little bit, but now another hurdle faces staff and volunteers who are not only trying to find animals forever homes, but also keep them healthy. Today I spoke with Melissa Nicely from CMPD Animal Care and Control. She shared the current situation on kennel cough in the shelter and what you as pet owners can do to mitigate the risk for your dogs. This kennel cough issue, how concerned should we be?
I think it's definitely something to make sure that you're being proactive, keeping your pet's Bordetella vaccine updated, because that's going to be what protects them. And since we don't know exactly what it is, you want to make sure that you know what symptoms to look for, so that if your dog does start showing or exhibiting any of those types of symptoms, you can get them to the vet and make sure that you catch it before it gets bad.
Are certain breeds, certain kinds of dogs more susceptible to a serious illness?
It's not that I'm aware of. Typically, of course, if you're talking about older pets or pets that have sort of an immune compromised situation, then those would definitely be ones that would be more susceptible.
Does most of this clear up on its own, or do you need to go see your vet?
You should go see your vet. Typically, I think what they'll do is put them on an antibiotic, but if it's getting towards pneumonia, then that's a very serious condition. So I would give the advice is if you're seeing any symptoms that are out of the ordinary for your dog, considering this is kind of sort of ramped up a little bit in our area, I would go to the vet right away.
Tell me about the shelter itself. What are you seeing there? Are you having a problem? Is it spreading?
So I sat down with our shelter veterinarian, Dr. Hollyfield, 2 days ago when this started kind of hopping up in the news a little bit. I was like, I wanted to get a good feeling for where we are, and she actually said, the biggest thing is we are a representation of what's going on in the community, because all these animals are coming in from the community, and it's tight housing. Their space is still an issue, so we do see it. We have a whole set of kennels that we treat kennel cough all the time. So it's not something that's new to us, but we definitely haven't seen a huge crazy rise in the numbers. If anything, it's kind of actually been less that we've been seeing it in. So that's good news. A few months back, we did have some dogs that had some pneumonia, but we haven't seen any of that lately. So knock on wood.
Yes.
Things are good, and for us to have some kennel cough is not an uncommon thing.
Yeah, and a reminder, if your dog catches kennel cough, that cough may persist for up to 4 to 6 weeks, even with treatment. It can be a long haul for pet owners, and they can still spread the virus up to 3 weeks. after that coughing stops, so keep that in mind. Treatment can range from supportive care with fluids, anti-inflammatory medication, cough suppressants, and preventing secondary infections with antibiotics.